Hello dear students, welcome to second video class. In the first class, we discussed the basics needed to understand the inverse trigonometric functions, and we ended with writing a table showing the domain and ranges of all the six trigonometric functions. Now in this class, we are going to discuss the examples given in exercise 2.1, and then we will discuss properties of inverse trigonometric functions. Before that, let me give some more information about these inverse trigonometric functions. In the textbook, in page number 41, they are given 3 points. You have to note down those points. Along with some more information I will give, you have to note down those points also. The first one says, whenever we write inverse of sine function, sine inverse of x, it does not mean that sin x whole to the power of minus 1. Sin x whole to the power of minus 1, as good as writing in algebra a power of minus 1. This is equal to what? 1 by a. What about sin x whole to the power of minus 1? It is 1 by sin x, nothing but it becomes cosecant x. But sin inverse of minus x means it is a notation used to indicate inverse of sine function. Therefore, at any instant, don't write sin inverse x or any other inverse trigonometric function in this manner. So, this is not a right thing. That is the first information given. The second one says, whenever no branches of inverse trigonometric function given means we have to take by default always the principal branches. And third one, it says what is meant by a principal value, that I already told in the first class. The value of inverse trigonometric functions which lies in the range of the principal branch is called as principal values. Now, there is one interesting property here of inverse trigonometric function, of any inverse of a function. If you consider a function which is invertible, means its inverse exists. If we draw the graph of both the functions, one is f, another is f inverse. If I write the graph of those two functions in the Cartesian plane, you will observe that one is the mirror image of the other along the line y equal to x. Like here I shown, this is the line y equal to x, and this is the function which is both 1 1 and 2, means its inverse of function exists. If I write the graph of inverse of that function, it will look like this in the plane. Observe here, this f inverse is a mirror image of f of x along the line y equal to x, or f of x is mirror image of its inverse function. So, this is a standard property. Based on this, once in CET, they asked a question like, find mirror image of the function with respect to the line y equal to x. Means instead of asking the question directly, what is inverse of this function, they frame the question like this. So, this is also a very important point that you have to remember. In the textbook, they are given all the inverse trigonometric functions along with their trigonometric functions. So, they are mirror image of one another. You have to please go through those diagrams without fail. Now, the other information what you have to remember is, we will know that sin inverse x lies in the closed interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2. Whenever x takes the values in the interval minus 1, 1, it is guaranteed that sin inverse x value lies in the principal range, that is minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. As an example, if I take sin inverse of 1, we know that sin inverse of 1 is pi by 2, because sin pi by 2 gives us 1. If I take sin inverse of 1 by 2, it gives us pi by 6, because sin pi by 6 is 1 by 2. Hence, sin inverse of 1 by 2 is equal to pi by 6. Now, if I take sin inverse of minus 1 by root 2, sin of which angle in the interval minus pi by 2 gives us minus 1 by root 2? It is minus pi by 4. So, therefore, sin inverse of minus 1 by root 2 is equal to minus pi by 4. Because we know that sin of minus pi by 4 is minus 1 by root 2. Using inverse function rule, it can be written as sin inverse of minus 1 by root 2 is equal to minus pi by 4. Now, observe here. Here I have taken two values of x. Of course, lies in the interval minus 1, 1, but now they are positive. When x values are positive, observe the angle. They are lying in the interval 0, pi by 2. So, whenever x is positive, sin inverse x will give us the angle in the range 0 to pi by 2. Now, here I have taken negative number, negative real number in the interval minus 1, 1. Look at the angle I get, minus pi by 4. Like this, any real number which is negative in the interval minus 1 to 0, then sin inverse of those real numbers will give us the angle in the interval minus pi by 2, 0. I hope you followed this. Sin inverse of x gives us the angle in the interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2. In particular, if x is positive, you are going to get angle in the interval 0, pi by 2. If x is negative, we get an angle in the interval minus pi by 2, 0. Okay, now let me take cos inverse x function. Cos inverse will give us angle in the interval 0 pi, closed interval 0 pi. If x lies in the interval minus 1, 1, cos inverse x gives us angle in the range 0 to pi. Now, let me take a particular example. Cos inverse of 1 by 2 gives us pi by 3. Reason is simple, because under cos function, image of pi by 3 is 1 by 2. Cos inverse of 1 by root 2 is pi by 4. Reason is cos pi by 4 gives us 1 by root 2. Now, let me take a negative number. Cos inverse of minus 1 by 2 I take. Now, cos of which angle lying in the interval 0 pi gives us minus 1 by 2. Definitely it cannot be an acute angle. Cos of acute angle is positive. Now, we have to choose the angle in the interval pi by 2 to pi. Now, cos pi by 3 is plus 1 by 2. Cos of pi minus pi by 3, cos of 180 minus theta minus cos theta. So, cos of pi minus pi by 3 minus cos pi by 3, that is equal to minus 1 by 2. How much pi minus pi by 3? It is 2 pi by 3. So, therefore, cos inverse of minus 1 by 2 is 2 pi by 3, because cos 2 pi by 3 is minus 1 by 2. If you are forgotten how to simplify this, using colored angles, cos of pi minus pi by 3, cos of 180 minus theta minus cos theta, that is equal to minus 1 by 2. Similarly, if I take cos inverse of minus 1 by root 2, cos inverse of plus 1 by root 2, pi by 4, acute angle. Cos inverse of minus 1 by root 2. Now, I have to choose an angle in the range 0 to pi by 2 such that cos of that angle gives us minus 1 by root 2. Cos function gives us negative whenever it is in the line lying in the interval pi by 2 to pi. So think of angle in the range pi by 2 to pi. How to choose that? Cos pi by 4 plus 1 by root 2. Cos of pi minus pi by 4 definitely ends with minus 1 by root 2, because cos of pi minus theta minus cos theta. So how much pi minus pi by 4? 3 pi by 4. So I can write cos inverse of minus 1 by root 2, 3 pi by 4, because cos 3 pi by 4 will give us minus 1 by root 2. So therefore, cos inverse x, it gives the angle in the interval 0 pi. When x is positive, it gives the angle in the range 0 pi by 2. When x is negative, it gives the angle in the range pi by 2 to pi. Similarly, tan inverse x minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. If x is positive, it gives the angle in the range 0 pi by 2. If x is negative, it gives the angle in the range minus pi by 2, 0. Cosecant inverse x, it lies in the interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2, except 0. Recall the range of cosecant inverse x we written, closed interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2, leaving the element 0. Why we have to leave there? For any value of x, cosecant inverse will not give us 0, because cosecant 0 is not defined. So 0 is not present in this interval. Now, when x is positive, it gives the angle in the interval 0 pi by 2. When x is negative, we get angle in the interval minus pi by 2, 0. Secant inverse x, it lies in the closed interval 0 pi, but in that I had to drop out pi by 2. Secant inverse of any real number cannot be equal to pi by 2. Now, when x is positive, it gives the angle in the interval 0 pi by 2. When x is negative, it gives the angle in the interval pi by 2, pi. Cot inverse x, it is an open interval 0 pi. 0 and pi cannot appear as images under cot inverse. Now, when x is positive, it gives the angle in the interval 0 pi by 2. When x is negative, it gives the angle in the range pi by 2 to pi. So, this information you should have, because whenever sine inverse, cos inverse, tan inverse of some real number will be given, they can be either positive or negative. When x is positive, where the value of that inverse trigonometric function will lie, and when x is negative, in which interval that inverse trigonometric function value lies, we have to know that. So, this is the extra information that I am providing you. One is f of x and its inverse function appears as mirror images of each other with respect to the line y equal to x, and the values of inverse trigonometric function lies in which interval according as x is positive or negative. Now, with this idea, we will move on to solving the examples given in exercise 2.1. Okay, now we will consider the examples given in exercise 2.1. They are very, very simple elementary questions. Let us start working one by one. The question is, find principal values of the following inverse trigonometric functions. First one, required to find principal value of sine inverse of minus 1 by 2. We know that sine inverse function gives angle in the interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2. And we don't know which angle gives us this. For that, you start with let sine inverse of minus 1 by 2 equal to theta. Then using inverse function, what you can write? Sine of angle theta must be equal to what? Minus 1 by 2. Because f inverse of A equal to B means, then sine of B must be equal to A using inverse function rule. Then the range of principal value branch of sine inverse is what? It is closed interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2. Means I had to get one angle in this range such that sine of that angle gives us 1 by 2. We know that sine pi by 6 is 1 by 2. Sine of minus pi by 6 gives us minus 1 by 2. Maybe some of you ask, why only minus pi by 6, sir? There exists angle in the third quadrant such that sine of that angle also is minus 1 by 2. How to get that angle? Third quadrant, I write sine of pi plus pi by 6. Sine of 180 plus theta minus sine theta. That will give us minus 1 by 2. How much pi plus pi by 6? It is 7 pi by 6. Of course, sine of 7 pi by 6 will give us a minus 1 by 2. No problem with that. But here, we written the principal value branch of sine inverse is this much. Is this angle lies in this interval? No. So, therefore, you are not supposed to write it as sine of 7 pi by 6 as minus 1 by 2. We had to choose the angle in the principal branch only. That is why here we written range of principal value branch is closed interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2, and one of the angle in that, namely minus pi by 6, such that sine of that angle gives us minus 1 by 2. Hence, the principal value of sine inverse minus 1 by 2 is equal to how much? Minus pi by 6. Now, second question, find principal value of cos inverse of root 3 by 2. Again, here also we assume let it be equal to theta. Then using inverse function, what I can write? Cos theta must be equal to root 3 by 2. The range of principal value branch of cos inverse x is what? The closed interval 0 pi. Now, think of an angle in this interval such that cos of that angle is equal to root 3 by 2. Here x is positive, so it must be an acute angle, that is cos pi by 6 will give us root 3 by 2. In the earlier example, sine inverse of x is negative. When x is negative, look at the result, what you are going to get? Angle in the interval minus pi by 2 to 0. So, here cos pi by 6 root 3 by 2, therefore, principal value of cos inverse of root 3 by 2 is equal to pi by 6. Now, suppose assume that it is cos inverse of minus root 3 by 2. If it is minus root 3 by 2, then cos theta becomes what? Minus root 3 by 2. Principal value branch of cos inverse remains same 0 pi. Now, in this case x is negative, that is why I taken minus root 3 by 2. When x is negative, angle lies in the interval pi by 2 to pi. How to find that angle? Very simple. Cos of which angle gives us root 3 by 2? Cos pi by 6 root 3 by 2. You subtract that angle in pi, because cos of pi minus theta minus cos theta will get. Pi minus pi by 6 is how much? 5 pi by 6. So, cos of 5 pi by 6 will give us a minus root 3 by 2. In that case, the principal value of cos inverse of minus root 3 by 2 is equal to 5 pi by 6. Cos inverse of negative number means you are not getting negative angle. You have to write an angle in the interval 0 pi only. Now, here there is one example, let me solve that. It is cos inverse of minus 1 by 2. This is question number 5. They are given cos inverse of minus 1 by 2. Let cos inverse of minus 1 by 2 theta, then cos theta becomes minus 1 by 2. The range of principal value branch of cos inverse, it is 0 pi, and Cos of which angle gives us minus 1 by 2? Cos of which angle is plus 1 by 2? Pi by 3. You subtract that angle in pi. Pi minus pi by 3, 2 pi by 3. So cos 2 pi by 3 minus 1 by 2. Clearly this 2 pi by 3 lies in this interval. Pi is 180, 2 pi by 3 is 120. So clearly it lies in the interval 0 pi. Therefore, principal value of cos inverse of minus 1 by 2 is how much? 2 pi by 3. So this is the systematic way of writing the answers. In the exam, it will be just one more question. You need not to write all these steps. Just for understanding sake, since we are not thorough with the table, what is the domain, what is the range. If you are thorough with that, directly we can write the result. Now let me try to write the values directly. Question number 3. Cosecant inverse of 2 they are given. Now what is the range of cosecant inverse? Minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, leaving 0. Cosecant of which angle gives us 2? Pi by 6. Since cosecant pi by 6 is 2, cosecant inverse of 2 is equal to pi by 6. Straight away you can write that is equal to pi by 6. You can write the reason, mention the reason, because cosecant pi by 6 is equal to 2. Tan inverse of minus root 3m. Now let me answer this. Fourth question is find principal value of tan inverse of minus root 3. Let tan inverse of minus root 3 theta, then tan theta is minus root 3. The range of principal value branch of tan inverse now is open interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2. And find an angle in this interval such that tan of this angle gives us minus root 3. We know that tan pi by 3 is root 3. Tan of minus theta minus tan theta. So therefore, I write here tan of minus pi by 3 is minus root 3. Therefore, principal value of tan inverse of minus root 3 is how much? Minus pi by 3. Remember, principal value of inverse trigonometric function means it lies in that principal value range. That is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Clearly minus pi by 3, that is minus 60, lies in the interval minus 90 plus 90. We completed cos inverse minus 1 by 2. Now tan inverse of minus 1. I hope you can tell this answer now. Tan inverse of minus 1 is equal to minus pi by 4, because the tan of minus pi by 4 gives us minus 1. Next, secant inverse of 2 by root 3. Think of an angle, that too acute, because x is positive. It must lie in the interval 0 to pi by 2. When x is positive, cosecant inverse x will give us the angle in the interval 0 pi by 2. Cosecant of which angle gives us 2 by root 3? Secant of which angle gives us 2 by root 3? That is pi by 6. Secant pi by 6 is 2 by root 3. Therefore, secant inverse of 2 by root 3 is equal to pi by 6. Here it is minus pi by 4. Cot inverse of root 3 now. Cot of which angle gives us root 3? Cot inverse range is what? Open interval 0 pi. X is positive. So it lies in the interval 0 to pi by 2, means in the first quadrant. So cot of which angle gives us root 3? That is pi by 6. Cot pi by 6 root 3. Therefore, cot inverse of root 3 is equal to pi by 6. If you want, you can write or you can mention the reason here, because cot pi by 6 is equal to root 3. Therefore, cot inverse of root 3 is equal to pi by 6. I hope you are following. They are very simple examples. Now, next 11th and 12th. Find value of these expressions containing inverse trigonometric functions with some real number as their argument. Now let me write directly these values after practicing these questions. Tan inverse of 1 is how much? Pi by 4. Because tan pi by 4 is 1, tan inverse of 1 equal to pi by 4. Cos inverse of minus 1 by 2. Cos of which angle gives us 1 by 2? Pi by 3. Now subtract that pi by 3 in pi. Pi minus pi by 3, 2 pi by 3. Cos 2 pi by 3 will end with minus 1 by 2. So therefore it is a 2 pi by 3. Now sine of which angle gives us 1 by 2? Pi by 6. Now sine of minus pi by 6 is what? Minus 1 by 2. So therefore I have to write minus pi by 6. Sine of minus pi by 6 gives us minus 1 by 2. Therefore sine inverse of minus 1 by 2 is minus pi by 6. Simplify and write the result. Now cos inverse of 1 by 2. Cos of which angle gives us 1 by 2? That is pi by 3. Since cos pi by 3 is 1 by 2, cos inverse of 1 by 2 is equal to pi by 3. 2 into sine of which angle gives us 1 by 2? Pi by 6. Sine pi by 6 is 1 by 2. Therefore sine inverse of 1 by 2 is pi by 6. If you simplify, you are going to get 2 pi by 3. First term pi by 3, second term is also pi by 3, and adding pi by 3 plus pi by 3, 2 pi by 3 will get. Finally, we left with 2 questions. They are multiple choice questions. Now let us take those 2 multiple choice questions. Question number 13. If sin inverse x equal to y, then they are given the different ranges of y. We have to choose which one is right. As it is a sin inverse function, sin inverse always lies in the interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2. Simply they are asking range of sin inverse function here. What is the range of sin inverse function? Closed interval minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2. So the option is this. What is the difference here? It is open interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2. Boundary points are not included in the interval. So therefore option D is the right answer. Next question. Required to find value of tan inverse root 3 minus secant inverse of minus 2. Tan inverse of root 3 is how much? Tan of which angle is root 3? Pi by 3. Now secant of which angle gives us 2? That is pi by 3. Secant of pi by 3 is 2. Now secant of which angle gives us minus 2 means secant of pi minus pi by 3, that is minus secant pi by 3, that will be equal to minus 2. So how much pi minus pi by 3? 2 pi by 3. So difference of these two will give us minus pi by 3. I hope you followed this. I said secant of pi by 3 is 2. Secant of pi minus pi by 3 minus secant pi by 3, that is minus 2. Therefore secant of 2 pi by 3 is equal to minus 2. It implies secant inverse of minus 2 is 2 pi by 3. That is what that 2 pi by 3 are written. Even you need not to write all these steps. This is found to be very simple question, and we can say that with weak alternatives. Let us see why it is weak alternative. You look at the values of x. One is positive, other is negative. Tan inverse of x, when x is positive, gives us angle in the range 0 to pi by 2. That is acute angle. Secant inverse of x when x is negative, it gives us the angle in the interval pi by 2 to pi. It is obtuse angle. We are subtracting obtuse angle in acute angle. What is the result then? Negative. So, with negative number, only one option. So, it will be the right answer. So, this is how you can answer if you know the things better and better. So, that is why in depth you should know the basics, then easily with lot of enjoyment you can answer the questions, that too in the competitive examination. Now, we will move on to discussing the properties of inverse trigonometric functions. Okay, now we will going to discuss the properties of inverse trigonometric functions. Remember, after knowing the properties of inverse trigonometric functions, we can answer exercise 2.1 in very easy way. But still in the textbook they are given the examples before the discussion of properties of inverse trigonometric function, means there is some purpose behind that. The purpose is simple. One should know about these inverse trigonometric functions very well. That is, it makes us to think about the domain and ranges. So, that is why even I solved that exercise without the help of properties of inverse trigonometric functions. Okay. Here, one of the properties is sine of sine inverse x equal to x. It means I have sine of sine inverse 1 by 2. According to that statement, I can write straight away 1 by 2, because now I compare this with sine of sine inverse x. I return the result as x. Let us see how it is going to be. Sine of, the inner function is sine inverse of 1 by 2. We know sine pi by 6 1 by 2. Therefore, sine inverse of 1 by 2 is pi by 6. Now, clearly sine pi by 6 becomes what? 1 by 2. So, in this way sine of sine inverse 1 by 2 is equal to 1 by 2. Now, let me take sine of sine inverse 1 by root 2. According to the result, it must be equal to 1 by root 2. Now, simplify the inner function. It is sine inverse of 1 by root 2. We know that sine pi by 4 1 by root 2. Therefore, sine inverse of 1 by root 2 is equal to pi by 4. Now, sine pi by 4 gives us 1 by 2. Now, you cannot apply this formula or this property to any value of x. Suppose if I write sine of sine inverse 2, can we write it as 2? Not at all, because sine inverse domain is closed interval minus 1 1. Here I written a real number which is lying outside that interval. So, sine inverse of 2 is not defined, then sine of this undefined number is not defined. Therefore, sine of sine inverse 2 is not defined. It cannot be determined, or by applying that result you cannot write it as 2. Therefore, there is a restriction here to apply that formula. What that? This x, what you are writing here, this x must be the domain of sine inverse function. So, therefore, let me write here x belongs to the closed interval minus 1 1. Similarly, cos of cos inverse x equal to x. Cos of cos inverse root 3 by 2, root 3 by 2. Cos of cos inverse 1 by 2, 1 by 2. Similarly, I can write cos of cos inverse x equal to x, provided that x lies in the domain of cos inverse, that is a minus 1 1. I hope now you will be able to write this tan of tan inverse x equal to x whenever x belongs to any real number. Now, if I write tan of tan inverse root 3 is equal to root 3, I can write tan of tan inverse of minus root 3. I can write it as minus root 3. Tan of tan 20 is also equal to 20, because the domain of tan inverse function is what? The whole real set. So here whatever may be the real number it takes, argument for tan inverse, tan of tan inverse of that real number will be equal to the same real number. No restriction here. Therefore, tan of tan inverse x equal to x, where x can be any real number. Now cosecant inverse x is also equal to x. Then what are the values of x there? Modulus of x must be greater than or equal to 1, or x belongs to set of all real numbers other than the numbers lies in the interval minus 1, 1. Secant of secant inverse x, again modulus of x greater than or equal to 1, or that one. Cot of cot inverse x equal to x, whenever x is any real number. So this is one of the basic property. Now let me consider sin inverse of sin y as an example. As an example, sin inverse of sin pi by 6. I can write the result as pi by 6. Sin inverse of sin y is equal to y. This is the value of y. Let me check whether it is equal to pi by 6 or not. How much sin pi by 6? 1 by 2. So I left with sin inverse of 1 by 2. How much sin inverse of 1 by 2? It is pi by 6. So in this way, sin inverse of sin pi by 6 is equal to pi by 6. So here sin inverse of sin y is equal to y. But you should be careful. Sin inverse of sin 7 pi by 6. I cannot write pi by 6. Sin inverse of sin 3 pi by 4 is 3 pi by 4. So these two are not correct. You cannot simply apply this rule for any value of y. Look at this value of y, pi by 6. This is 7 pi by 6. This is 3 pi by 4. What is the range of sin inverse function? It is closed interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2. Sin inverse of some real number should give us an angle in the range minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. Here it is fine. But what about here? Look at this 7 pi by 6. It is not in the interval minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2. As well 3 pi by 4 not lying in this interval. So sin inverse of any real number cannot be equal to that, because the principal values of sin inverse is minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. So the restriction for this property is y must belongs to the range of sin inverse. Then only this property can be applied. Now similarly, cos inverse of cos y equal to y. Whenever y belongs to the range of cos inverse function, it is nothing but 0 pi. Tan inverse of tan y equal to y. Whenever y belongs to open interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2. Cosecant inverse of cosecant y is y. Whenever y belongs to the interval minus pi by 2, pi by 2, leaving the element 0. Secant inverse of secant y equal to y. Whenever y belongs to the interval 0 pi, leaving the element pi by 2, nothing but it is range of secant inverse. Cot inverse of cot y is equal to y. Whenever y belongs to open interval 0 pi, which is the range of cot inverse. So while applying these results, be careful about the value of x and the value of y. Now The first property I have taken, it says sin inverse of 1 by x is equal to cosecant inverse x whenever modulus of x greater than or equal to 1, or maybe x belongs to the interval minus infinite minus 1 union 1 infinite. Cos inverse of 1 by x secant inverse x for the same values of x, tan inverse of 1 by x is equal to cot inverse of x, where x can be any positive real number. Now we'll prove these properties. I'll start with let sin inverse of 1 by x is equal to say theta. Sin inverse of a real number definitely gives us some real number. I written that number as theta. Then it implies sin theta equal to 1 by x. Sin theta equal to 1 by x. Taking reciprocal, 1 by sin theta equal to x. If a equal to b, then 1 by a equal to 1 by b. What 1 by sin theta is? Cosecant theta. Cosecant theta is equal to x. Now I write theta equal to cosecant inverse of x using inverse function. What theta we written? Theta is nothing but sin inverse of 1 by x. Therefore, sin inverse of 1 by x is equal to cosecant inverse x. Very simple proof. We have taken sin inverse of 1 by x as theta using inverse function sin theta equal to 1 by x. On taking reciprocal both side, I get 1 by sin is equal to 1 over 1 by x, nothing but it is x. 1 by sin, reciprocal of sin is cosecant theta, that is equal to x. Again applying inverse function here, I get theta equal to cosecant inverse x. Resubstitute that value of theta, that is sin inverse of 1 by x, that completes the proof. So remember, sin inverse of 1 by x is equal to cosecant inverse of x. Not for all values of x, there is a restriction. Modulus of x must be greater than or equal to 1. Nothing but it is a domain of cosecant inverse function. Similarly, now I can prove the second one. Let me start with let cos inverse of 1 by x equal to theta. Using inverse function I can write cos theta equal to 1 by x, cos theta equal to 1 by x. Taking reciprocal both side, 1 by cos theta equal to x. 1 by cos is what? Secant theta equal to x now. Apply inverse function rule, we get theta equal to secant inverse of x. Therefore, on resubstituting theta, that is equal to cos inverse of 1 by x. So cos inverse of 1 by x is equal to secant inverse x. The same steps we written, except sin inverse, instead of sin inverse we written cos inverse x. I hope the proof is followed. Similarly, you can try with tan inverse. Look at here, tan inverse of 1 by x equal to theta, tan theta equal to 1 by x, 1 by tan theta equal to x, 1 by tan theta is what? Cot theta equal to x. Applying the inverse function rule, theta equal to cot inverse x, resubstitute theta, that is a tan inverse of 1 by x is equal to cot inverse of x. I hope you can complete that. Now property 2. First one says sin inverse of minus x is a minus of sin inverse x. Tan inverse of minus x is a minus tan inverse x. cosecant inverse of minus x minus cosecant inverse x. Recall the problems what we did in exercise 2.1. Sin inverse of minus 1 by 2. So, we are trying to find an angle in the range minus pi by 2 pi by 2. So, that sine of that angle gives us minus 1 by 2 and it was minus pi by 6. So, sin inverse of minus 1 by 2 gives us minus pi by 6. That was the method we are using, that too with the help of a line showing inverse of sine function will lie in the range minus 90 to plus 90. If x is positive, it is 0 to pi by 2. If x is negative, minus pi by 2 to 0. So, with that help you used to find out. Now, the standard property says when x is negative, sin inverse of minus x, what you can write? Minus of sin inverse x. Now, sin inverse of 1 by 2, pi by 6. So, in this way we can write minus pi by 6 straight away. So, this is how we can answer with the help of properties. In this way these properties will come to help. Now, how we can prove this sin inverse of minus x equal to minus of sin inverse x? Again remember, this property holds good only when x belongs to the closed interval minus 1 1. What this interval is? Domain of sin inverse. So, when x lies in domain of sin inverse, then only this property can be applied, otherwise not. Now, in order to prove this, let me consider sin inverse of minus x equal to theta, then sin theta equal to minus x. I multiply both sides by minus sign, minus sin theta equal to x. I write minus sin theta as sin of minus theta using allied angles. Sin of minus theta same as minus sin theta. So, I written minus sin theta as sin of minus theta. Apply inverse function now. It implies minus theta equal to sin inverse x. Again multiply both sides by minus sign, theta equal to minus of sin inverse x. Resubstitute theta finally. What theta is? Sin inverse of minus x. Therefore, sin inverse of minus x is equal to minus sin inverse x. A very simple proof. Observe the steps. Initially, assume this sin inverse of minus x as theta. Using inverse function, I written sin theta equal to minus x. Multiply both sides by minus 1. We get minus sin theta equal to x. Using allied angles, sin of minus theta is x, because sin of minus theta same as minus sin theta. Now, using inverse function, I can write minus theta equal to sin inverse x. Multiplying both sides by minus sign, minus of minus theta plus theta, here minus sin inverse x. Resubstitute theta. So, in this way sin inverse of minus x is minus sin inverse x. It is understood x must lie in the range minus 1 to plus 1. Similarly, let me answer second one. Let tan inverse of minus x equal to theta. It implies tan theta is minus x. Multiplying both sides by minus sign, it is minus tan theta minus tan theta equal to x. That is tan of minus theta equal to x. Tan of minus theta is minus tan theta. Using inverse function, minus theta is tan inverse x, theta is minus tan inverse x. Resubstitute theta, therefore, tan inverse of minus x is minus tan inverse x. Very simple proofs. Similarly, we can complete this third one. Look at here, cosecant inverse of minus x theta. Cosecant theta is minus x, minus cosecant theta is x. Cosecant of minus theta is x. Using inverse function minus theta equal to cosecant inverse x. Multiplying both sides by minus sign, theta equal to minus cosecant inverse x. Therefore, cosecant inverse of minus x is minus of cosecant inverse x. I hope you can complete this. Now, property number 3, cos inverse of minus x is pi minus cos inverse x. Whenever x is negative, I can use that property. So, what I can write here, pi minus cos inverse of 1 by 2. Cos inverse of minus x is what? Pi minus cos inverse x. Here x is 1 by 2 with a minus sign. Cos inverse of minus x, pi minus cos inverse x. Now, easy to identify this cos inverse of 1 by 2. When x is positive, it gives us acute angle in the range 0 to pi by 2. So, it is a pi minus pi by 3, that is equal to 2 pi by 3. So, like this also we can answer. In the first exercise, we are not using these properties. There, with the help of cos inverse range, it lies in the interval 0 pi. When x is positive, 0 to pi by 2. When x is negative, it gives the angle in the range pi by 2 to pi. So, with that idea, we are thinking the angle lying in the second quadrant, whose cos value must gives us minus 1 by 2. So, that is why we are applying that formula. Now, here straight away I can answer like this, cos inverse of minus x, pi minus cos inverse x. X becomes positive, it will be an acute angle, subtract in pi, that itself is the result. This is how we can make use of these properties. Now, let me prove this. Let cos inverse of minus x equal to theta. This implies cos theta equal to minus x. I multiply both sides by minus sign. Minus cos theta equal to x. Using allied angles, what minus cos theta I can write? Cos of pi minus theta. Apply inverse function, pi minus theta equal to cos inverse x. Write this theta on the RHS, it becomes theta plus cos inverse x is equal to what? Pi. Now, send this cos inverse x to the right hand side, theta equal to pi minus cos inverse x. Resubstitute theta, therefore cos inverse of minus x is pi minus cos inverse x. Remember, while applying this property, x must lie in the interval minus 1 1, that is most important. I hope you followed this. As usual, I consider this inverse trigonometric function as theta. Using inverse function, cos theta becomes a minus x. Multiplying both sides by minus sign, minus cos theta equal to x. Then using allied angles, I written minus cos theta as a cos of pi minus theta. Then using inverse function, I written pi minus theta equal to cos inverse x. I get theta plus cos inverse x as pi. Then theta equal to pi minus of cos inverse x. Resubstitute theta. Therefore, I get cos inverse of minus x equal to pi minus cos inverse x. I hope you followed this proof. Now, similarly, I can prove the second one in the same way. Secant inverse of minus x theta. Secant theta is minus x. Minus secant theta x. Minus secant theta can be written as secant of pi minus theta. because secant of 180 minus theta is minus secant theta. Using inverse function pi minus theta equal to secant inverse x, theta plus secant inverse x equal to pi, theta equal to pi minus secant inverse x. Resubstituting theta, therefore secant inverse of minus x is pi minus secant inverse x. With the same logic, you try to answer cot inverse of minus x equal to pi minus cot inverse x. Now property 4. First one, sin inverse x plus cos inverse x gives us pi by 2. Let me take one example here. Sin inverse of 1 by 2 plus cos inverse of 1 by 2. Observe the arguments of both sin inverse and cos inverse. I chosen the same number, that is 1 by 2. That is how in the property also, sin inverse x plus cos inverse x. This x must remain same. That is very important. You cannot write sin inverse 1 by 2 plus cos inverse of 1 by 3. Now these two values will get changed. Whenever the values of x is same in both sin inverse and cos inverse, if you add those two inverse trigonometric function, that is on adding their principal values, we end up with pi by 2. That is what the property says. Now we know that sin inverse of 1 by 2 is what? Pi by 6. So cos inverse of 1 by 2 is how much? Pi by 3. So I are ending with pi by 2. Even when it is a negative also, sin inverse of minus 1 by 2 plus cos inverse of minus 1 by 2. Sin inverse of minus x minus sin inverse x. Cos inverse of minus x, pi minus cos inverse x. Now pi, or I will write minus sin inverse of 1 by 2, pi by 6, plus pi minus cos inverse of 1 by 2, it is pi by 3, pi by 6, pi by 3, together pi by 2, pi minus pi by 2 will end with pi by 2. So either x is positive or negative, but cos inverse x plus sin inverse x gives us pi by 2. But very importantly, this x must lie in the interval minus 1, 1. Now let us prove this. In order to prove this, I will start with, let sin inverse x equal to theta. Using inverse function, I write sin theta equal to x. I write sin theta as cos of pi by 2 minus theta using colored angles. Now apply inverse function, pi by 2 minus theta equal to cos inverse x. By this you can write theta plus cos inverse x is equal to pi by 2. Resubstitute theta. What is theta? Sin inverse x. Therefore, sin inverse x plus cos inverse x gives us pi by 2. Similarly, I hope you followed this. Sin inverse x I taken as theta. Using inverse function sin theta is x. I written sin theta using allied angles as cos of pi by 2 minus theta. Now using inverse function, pi by 2 minus theta becomes cos inverse x. Theta plus cos inverse x pi by 2, resubstitute theta, sin inverse plus cos inverse gives us pi by 2. Very simple proof. Now tan inverse plus cot inverse, you can prove it in the same way. Look at the steps. You have to take tan inverse x as theta. Tan theta becomes x. Write this tan theta as cot of pi by 2 minus theta. Using inverse function, pi by 2 minus theta equal to cot inverse x. Theta plus cot inverse x becomes pi by 2. theta is tan inverse x, therefore tan inverse plus cot inverse x is equal to pi by 2. Now let us take the third one. Same logic. Let cosecant inverse x equal to theta. Using inverse function I can write cosecant theta is x. Using allied angles now, it is a secant of pi by 2 minus theta equal to x. Using inverse function now, pi by 2 minus theta is secant inverse x, that is theta plus secant inverse x is equal to pi by 2. I resubstitute theta, that is cosecant inverse x plus secant inverse x equal to pi by 2. Now we will take the fifth property. It says tan inverse x plus tan inverse y is equal to tan inverse of x plus y divided by 1 minus xy. Remember that formula is true whenever the product of x and y, the product of x and y must become less than 1. Maybe one of the example I can give. So tan inverse of 1 by 2 plus tan inverse of 1 by 3. Now look at 1 by 2 and 1 by 3. 1 by 2 is x, 1 by 3 is y. X into y, 1 by 6, it is less than 1. So this is how we can apply the formula. That is a limitation here. Product of x and y must be less than 1. Usually in the board exam, whenever there is a necessity of applying tan inverse x plus tan inverse y, it is understood that product x into y will be less than 1. But in the competitive examination, we should be very careful because there is one more formula for that. Okay, in other condition, when x into y is greater than 1, then what is the tan inverse x plus tan inverse y? Separate formula is there for that. For board exam purpose, this is enough. Now, to prove this, I will take tan inverse x as some angle alpha, tan inverse y as some other angle beta. Using inverse function, what we can write? Tan alpha is x, tan beta is y. We have to prove that sum of these two is same as the tan inverse of x plus y divided by 1 minus xy. In order to get that result, I consider tan of alpha plus beta. Standard result, tan of a plus b, tan a plus tan b by 1 minus tan a into tan b. Instead of a and b, we have alpha beta. So it is tan alpha plus tan beta divided by 1 minus tan alpha into tan beta. Now use inverse function. Alpha plus beta equal to, it is a tan inverse of tan alpha plus tan beta by 1 minus tan alpha into tan beta. Now substitute alpha, beta, tan alpha, tan beta, because initially we assumed tan inverse x as alpha, tan inverse y as beta. Now what alpha means? Tan inverse x. So I write tan inverse x. What beta is? Tan inverse y is equal to, it is a tan inverse of, what tan alpha is? X. Tan beta is y. So therefore we get tan inverse x plus tan inverse y as a tan inverse of x plus y divided by 1 minus xy. Very simple proof. Now we'll move on to proving the second part. Here only I am doing that arrangement. As usual, tan inverse x alpha, tan inverse y beta. It implies tan alpha is x, tan beta is y. Tan of alpha plus beta. Instead of this, I consider tan of alpha minus beta. What is tan of a minus b? Tan a minus tan b by 1 plus tan a into tan b. So here tan of alpha minus beta, tan alpha minus tan beta divided by 1 plus tan alpha into tan beta. Alpha minus beta equal to tan inverse of tan alpha minus tan beta divided by 1 plus tan alpha into tan beta. Resubstituting those, alpha tan inverse x minus beta tan inverse y equal to tan inverse of tan alpha x tan beta y. So it becomes 1 minus x minus y divided by 1 plus xy. Therefore, tan inverse x minus tan inverse y is a tan inverse of x minus y divided by 1 plus xy. Now move on to property 6. It says 2 tan inverse x is same as sin inverse of 2x by 1 plus x square. Remember, these properties holds good with some restriction like mod x less than or equal to 1. If mod x not less than or equal to 1 means you are not supposed to apply this result. That is what the restrictions here. So you should be very careful. Now 2 tan inverse x is cos inverse of 1 minus x square by 1 plus x square for all the values which are greater than or equal to 0. Means when x is negative, you are not supposed to apply this result. Because the reason is simple, why this property doesn't holds for negative number means don't worry about these expressions what they are given. You concentrate only on the inverse trigonometric function on LHS and RHS. In the LHS, tan inverse function is there. On the right hand side, cos inverse function is there. Whatever may be the expression, finally you will get with some real number there. Suppose if that real number is positive, here also the real number is positive, then definitely there is a chance that these two will be equal, because tan inverse of x, when x is positive, we know that it lies in the interval 0 pi by 2. Cos inverse of x, when x is positive, it lies in the interval 0 pi by 2. That is why I am saying that possibility of equating these two. Suppose now if x takes a negative, what is the range of tan inverse of negative real number? It is a minus pi by 2, 0. Here when x is negative, cos inverse x will give us range what? Pi by 2 to pi. Now can we say that these two for any value of x will be equal? No chance. That is why the values of x what they are mentioning here plays very important role. So this result can be applied only for positive real numbers, even when x equal to 0 also it is true. That is 2 tan inverse x equal to cos inverse of 1 minus x square by 1 plus x square, and finally 2 tan inverse x is a tan inverse of 2x divided by 1 minus x square, whenever x lies in the interval minus 1 1, that is open interval. Now let us prove this property. Okay, to prove this 2 tan inverse x equal to sin inverse of 2x by 1 plus x square, I will go for substituting x equal to tan theta. This implies theta is tan inverse x. Now what happens to the RHS? Consider RHS equal to, it is a sine inverse of 2x by 1 plus x square. What x were taken? Tan theta. Substitute here. It is a sine inverse of 2 tan theta by 1 plus tan square theta. Recall the trigonometric identities what we learned in first PUC. 2 tan theta by 1 plus tan square theta. This is the formula of sin 2 theta in terms of tan. Two formulas we learned. One is sin 2 theta is 2 sin theta cos theta. The other formula is 2 tan theta by 1 plus tan square. So I write this as sin 2 theta. Now sin inverse of sin y is equal to y. Resubstitute theta now. It is 2 into theta is what? Tan inverse x. That is our LHS. So in this way we shown that 2 tan inverse x is same as sin inverse of 2x by 1 plus x square. For what values of x? Mod x less than or equal to 1. Nothing but it is the closed interval minus 1, 1. Now let us take the second one. To show that 2 tan inverse x equal to cos inverse of 1 minus x square by 1 plus x square, I go for substituting x equal to again tan theta. Here only I write the proof. As usual, theta becomes what? Tan inverse x. Consider RHS. It is cos inverse of 1 minus x square by 1 plus x square. Substitute x equal to tan theta. It is a cos inverse of 1 minus tan square theta by 1 plus tan square theta. Can you recall the formula by looking at this? 1 minus tan square by 1 plus tan square is what? Cos 2 theta. So cos inverse of cos 2 theta is equal to 2 theta. What is theta? Tan inverse x. That is what our LHS is. So therefore 2 tan inverse x is same as cos inverse of 1 minus x square by 1 plus x square for all the values which are greater than or equal to 0. Similarly, the third one now. To prove this result, I will take again x equal to tan theta. It implies theta is tan inverse x. RHS is tan inverse of 2x by 1 minus x square. That is a tan inverse of 2 tan theta by 1 minus tan square theta. Clearly, it is a formula of tan 2 theta. So, it is a tan inverse of tan 2 theta is equal to 2 theta. Resubstituting theta, we get 2 tan inverse x. Therefore, 2 tan inverse x is, it is a tan inverse of 2x divided by 1 minus x square whenever x belongs to open interval minus 1, 1. I hope you followed this proof of the properties. They are very simple. Now you have to collect all these properties what we have written in one separate page so that all the properties can be revised quickly going through that particular page where you have written all these properties. With this idea now, we will be able to solve the examples given in exercise 2.2. Before that, I will solve the examples given in the textbook prior to exercise 2.2. Nothing but they are solved examples. Let me first explain all those solved examples. With this idea, My suggestion is you should try exercise 2.2. Definitely you will be able to complete it. Be confident. Now let us move on to answering the questions which are solved in the textbook. First one is, show that sine inverse of 2x times of root 1 minus x square equal to 2 sine inverse x. Again, show that sine inverse of 2x into root 1 minus x square equal to 2 cos inverse x. Maybe some of you feel that as their LHS are same, RHS must also same. Is it so? Definitely not. Why? Because of this restriction over x. This result is valid only for these values of x, and the value of this sine inverse will become 2 times of cos inverse whenever x lies in this interval. Now let us see. The first result is true in this interval. The second result true only in this interval. They are not one and the same. Let us test. Now for this, let me take one of the real number in this interval. Let me take 0, substitute here. What I get? LHS, sine inverse of 0. What is the RHS? 2 times of sine inverse 0. Check, are they equal or not? Definitely. Sine inverse of 0 is 0. 0 into 2 0. So therefore 0 equal to 0. It is true. Now let me take a number not lying in this interval. Maybe I will take 1. Let us check what happens. Here I took x value as 0. Now I take x value as 1. What LHS becomes now? Sine inverse of 2 into 1 into root of 1 minus 1. That is 0. On the RHS now, 2 times of sine inverse 1. How much sine inverse of 0? 0. How much sine inverse of 1? Sine of which angle is 1? Sine pi by 2 is 1. So sine inverse of 1 is pi by 2. That is 2 times of pi by 2. Check, are these two equal? No. So therefore, whenever x lies in the interval minus 1 by root 2 plus 1 by root 2, then only this result is true. We cannot write that it is 2 cos inverse x, it is strictly 2 sin inverse x. Now let me take this result. So this result is true only for the closed interval when x takes the values in the interval 1 by root 2 to 1. Now let me take 1. Here I take x equal to 1. Apply this result now, whether it is true or not. Sine inverse of 2 into 1 into 0, nothing but it is sine inverse of 0. On the right hand side, 2 into cos inverse of 1 I get. Sine inverse of 0 is 0, it is 2 into cos inverse of 1 is how much? Cos of which angle in the principal branch 0 to pi will give us 1? Definitely 0. Cos 0 is 1, therefore cos inverse of 1 is 0. Now check, are they equal? Yes, perfectly. Now let us take x value not in this range. I will take the x value in this range. Conveniently I will take 0. Taking x equal to 0 now. What is LHS? It is sine inverse of 0. What RHS? 2 times of cos inverse of 0. Sine inverse of 0 is 0. Cos inverse of 0. Cos of which angle in the interval 0 pi gives us 0. that is pi by 2. Cos pi by 2 is 0, therefore cos inverse of 0 is pi by 2. Now check, are these two equal? Definitely not. So therefore, remember, whenever sin inverse of 2x into root 1 minus x square is there, don't be under impression that either I can write 2 sin inverse or 2 cos inverse. How to decide the result? Based on the values of x. Very, very important it is. But usually in the board exam, no such questions will be framed which depending on the values of x. Usually prove that they will give. Definitely we will be able to answer by looking at the result itself. To prove that it is sin inverse x, substitution will be x equal to sin theta. To show that it is a 2 cos inverse x, here we had to go for substitution cos theta. Okay. So by keeping in mind the results, we can definitely make a proper substitution. To prove this in board exam, we need not to remember that range. Okay. There will be no much complexity. To prove the first result, you simply go for substituting x equal to sin theta. Whenever the question is prove that it is equal to 2 cos inverse x, simply substitute x equal to cos theta. By that you will be able to get the result. There will be no much complication in board exam. That is to be guaranteed. Why I discussed this means, when you go to the competitive examinations, in particularly higher competitive examinations, definitely the results will not be like this. They will not be given the range. They will be given sin inverse of 2x into root 1 minus x square equal to 2 sin inverse x. What the range of x? 4 different options will be there. Then we had to choose the appropriate one. So with that idea, now I had given the complete details of this. Okay, now we will move on to proving these results. Okay, to prove the first result, as I said earlier, substitute x equal to sin theta, so that it implies theta is sin inverse x. Now the LHS is sin inverse of 2x into root 1 minus x square. It is a sin inverse of, now substitute x equal to sin theta. It is a 2 sin theta into root 1 minus sin square theta. That is sin inverse of 2 sin theta into what? 1 minus sin square, standard identity, cos square, square root of cos square, cos. So it is cos theta. Now it is sin inverse of sin 2 theta. Sin inverse of sin x is equal to x, that is theta, 2 theta. Resubstitute theta, it is sin inverse x. Hence the result. A very simple example. Now in order to prove the second result, you try by substituting x equal to cos theta. Now look at the LHS, what it becomes. 2 into cos theta root 1 minus cos square. That is 2 into cos theta. Root 1 minus cos square becomes what? Sin theta. So 2 cos theta into sin theta is again what? Sin 2 theta. Sin inverse of sin 2 theta is equal to what? Theta. But what is theta? Not sin inverse x. Since we substituted x equal to cos theta, in the place of x equal to sin theta, we made a substitution x equal to cos theta. Accordingly, what happens to this theta? It is cos inverse x. So in the place of theta, I had to write 2 cos inverse x. By that, we will be able to prove this. I hope we can complete that example with this information. Okay, now let me take example 4. In the textbook, page number 45, solved examples. Required to show that tan inverse 1 by 2 plus tan inverse 2 by 11 is a tan inverse of 3 by 4. Now let me write the LHS. Tan inverse of 1 by 2 plus a tan inverse of 2 by 11. One of the properties says tan inverse x plus tan inverse y is equal to tan inverse of x plus y divided by 1 minus xy. Now we can definitely apply that property. I treat this as x and this as y. Tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y becomes what? Tan inverse of x plus y divided by 1 minus x into y. What is x? 1 by 2. What is y? 2 by 11. X plus y divided by 1 minus x into y. Now if you simplify, you are sure going to get 3 by 4, this expression. Hence the result. Now let us take this example. Here it is required to express this inverse trigonometric function in the simplest form. Nothing but put it in the most simplified form. Now let us try to do that. For this, I will make use of the standard identities available with this. I will write tan inverse of cos x divided by 1 minus sin x. Now, I write this 1 as cos square x by 2 plus sin square x by 2 followed by minus sin x is there. I will write it as 2 sin x by 2 into cos x by 2. I hope you followed how I am able to write this. We know that 1 can be written as sin square theta plus cos square theta. The same thing I written in half angle, cos square theta plus sin square theta, where theta is x by 2. Half angle formula applied. Similarly, if sin 2 theta means 2 sin theta cos theta, now sin x half angle formula applied, 2 sin x by 2 cos x by 2. In the numerator, cos x is there. I write that cos x as cos square x by 2 minus sin square x by 2. That is cos square theta minus sin square theta. A square minus b square now. So I can write a plus b into a minus b. I hope you followed this step. We applied half angle formulae. Cos 2 theta, cos square theta minus sin square theta. It is cos x now, not 2x. So half angle formula becomes cos square x by 2 minus sin square x by 2. Now further it is written as, it is a tan inverse of, I am applying a square minus b square formula. It is cos x by 2 minus sin x by 2 into cos x by 2 plus sin x by 2. In the denominator, a square plus b square minus 2ab, I can write a minus b whole square. That is cos x by 2 minus sin x by 2 whole square. Now clearly one of the factor get cancelled, left with tan inverse of cos x by 2 plus sin x by 2 divided by cos x by 2 minus sin x by 2. Now I divide both numerator and denominator by cos x by 2. Dividing numerator and denominator by cos of x by 2. With this, it is a tan inverse of cos x by 2 by cos x by 2 1 plus sin x by 2 by cos x by 2 tan x by 2 divided by cos x by 2 by cos x by 2 1 minus sin x by 2 by cos x by 2, it is tan x by 2. Further, I write this 1 as a tan pi by 4 plus tan x by 2 as it is. In the denominator, 1 minus tan x by 2 is there. Now, this tan x by 2, without changing its value, I can write it as 1 into tan x by 2. I will replace that 1 with what? Tan pi by 4. Now you consider pi by 4 as A, x by 2 as B. What it becomes? Tan A plus tan B by 1 minus tan A into tan B. I hope you are able to recall which formula you are going to apply. Tan A plus tan B by 1 minus tan A tan B. It is a tan of A plus B. So, tan of pi by 4 plus x by 2. Now, recall the one of the standard result, tan inverse of tan y. How much tan inverse of tan y? I can write it as y. That is a pi by 4 plus x by 2, which is the simplest form of tan inverse of cos x divided by 1 minus sin x. Earlier it was tan inverse of cos x by 1 minus sin x. Equivalently, or for values of x, this is also same, that is pi by 4 plus x by 2 whenever x lies in this interval. So, this is the procedure of writing the given inverse trigonometric function in the simplest form. These two are equivalent, they are one and the same. If you take any value of x in this interval, what the value of tan inverse of cos x by 1 minus sin x will give, this pi by 4 plus x by 2 is also going to give us the same value. In that way, this expression pi by 4 plus x by 2 is the simplest form of given expression. Now, let us take the next question. Example 6. Write cot inverse of 1 divided by root x square minus 1 in the simplest form. Now, let me consider cot inverse of 1 by root x square minus 1. I will go for substituting x equal to secant theta, so that it is equal to cot inverse of 1 divided by root of secant square theta minus 1, that is equal to cot inverse of 1 divided by root of tan square theta, because secant square theta minus 1 is tan square. We get cot inverse of 1 divided by tan theta. A reciprocal of tan is cot. Cot inverse of cot theta is equal to theta. What theta refers to? Theta is equal to secant inverse x, because here x equal to secant theta implies theta equal to secant inverse x, which is the simplest form. I hope very simple, but maybe some of you are in doubt how to remember which trigonometric function I had to substitute for x. You say, assume that I don't know which trigonometric function I had to substitute. Let me start with x equal to sin theta. I get sin square theta minus 1. Do you have any formula for this? No formula. So, drop out that. Take next cos theta, cos square theta minus 1. Again no result. Substitute x equal to tan square minus 1, no formula available. Now secant square theta minus 1, yes, it is a tan square. At least by this, by substituting trigonometric function or directly or maybe after some alteration, you will be able to get standard identity. So that is a hint for this. Now if I substitute secant square minus 1 is a tan square. So we go on simplifying, we are able to get the simplest form. Even suppose instead of secant, I substitute cosecant. Cosecant square minus 1 is also standard form. What is cosecant square theta minus 1? Cot square. In that way, what that expression becomes? Cot inverse of 1 divided by square root of cot square theta I get. In this case, it is a cot inverse of 1 divided by cot theta. It is cot inverse of 1 by tan theta. 1 by cot theta is tan theta. Earlier I get cot inverse of cot theta. I applied cot inverse of cot y equal to y. Now cot inverse of tan y is there. No property is available. Now try to write this tan in terms of cot. That is cot inverse of pi by 2 minus theta I can write. Because cot of 90 minus theta is what? Tan theta. Now take this expression as y. Cot inverse of cot y is equal to what? Y. So let me write that y. I get pi by 2 minus theta. Resubstitute theta. That is pi by 2 minus cosecant inverse x. Here I get secant inverse x, simplified form. Here I get pi by 2 minus cosecant inverse x. Do you feel that they are different? No, they are one and the same. I can write straight away it is secant inverse x. How I am able to write pi by 2 minus cosecant inverse x as secant inverse x? Recall the property what we proved is secant inverse x plus cosecant inverse x is equal to pi by 2. Like sin inverse plus cos inverse pi by 2, tan inverse plus cot inverse is pi by 2, secant inverse cosecant inverse, their sum is also pi by 2. Since here pi by 2 minus cosecant inverse x is there, I written as secant inverse x. So like this, first you can try by substituting a different trigonometric function. If you are able to get a standard identity, proceed, simplify and finally end with, that is the simplest form of given inverse trigonometric function expression. Okay, now let me take the 7th question. It is required to prove that tan inverse x plus tan inverse of 2x by 1 minus x square equal to tan inverse of 3x minus x cube by 1 minus 3x square. One of the way of answering this is, I will substitute x equal to tan theta. Suppose if we substitute sin theta here, I am starting with RHS. 3 sin minus sin cube divided by 1 minus 3 sin cube. No such formula available. Now substitute tan. 3 tan minus tan cube by 1 minus 3 tan square. I hope you remember this is standard formula of tan 3 theta. So I substitute x equal to tan theta. Later I can write theta as what? Tan inverse x. So now RHS is tan inverse of 3x minus x cube by 1 minus 3x square. It becomes, it is a tan inverse of 3 tan theta minus a tan cube theta divided by 1 minus 3 tan square theta. This is a tan inverse of tan 3 theta. Now apply tan inverse of tan y equal to y. Resubstitute theta. It is 3 times of tan inverse x. But look at the result. LHS, I get sum of these two. Now I split this 3 times of tan inverse x as 1 time of tan inverse x plus 2 times of tan inverse x. So first term is already matching. Now 2 tan inverse x equal to Recall the other property we applied. We shown 2 tan inverse x equal to, in terms of sin inverse, in terms of cos inverse, in terms of tan inverse. So if I apply that property, tan inverse x plus 2 tan inverse x is tan inverse of 2x by 1 minus x square. Hence the result. So this is the method of proving, one of the method. Or you can try with, you take this as x and this expression as y, apply tan inverse x plus tan inverse y. It is a tan inverse of x plus y divided by 1 minus xy. You will get an expression containing x. You simplify, definitely will end with 3x minus x cube divided by 1 minus 3x square. That is also correct. Whichever is convenient, you can go for that. Now finally, find value of cos of secant inverse x plus cosecant inverse x is there. Consider cos of secant inverse x plus cosecant inverse x. Just now we said what secant inverse x plus cosecant inverse x? Pi by 2. How much cos pi by 2? It is 0. Therefore, value of that expression is 0. With this, we completed the discussion of the properties of inverse trigonometric function. As I said earlier, don't forget to make a list of all these standard properties in a separate page, so that it will be helpful while you are revising the topic. So it will be on one side. Quickly we can make a revision of all the properties. Now I suggest you to make a attempt to solve the examples given in exercise 2.2. I hope definitely you will be able to answer them. Before that, you go through these solved examples again and again until you are convinced, and make a revision of those standard properties, then move on to solving the exercise 2.2. I am very confident you will be able to answer them. If not, need not worry. In the next video class, I am going to solve those examples. But prior to that, you should make an attempt. Let it be wrong, no problem. Here, there is no restriction here. Let it be wrong, because while learning, definitely we do some mistakes. Let those mistakes happen while learning only. These mistakes should not happening in the annual examination. So with that concern, I am saying, you please try this exercise 2.2. Dear students, soon we will meet you in the next class. Till then, goodbye and good luck.